For over 145 years, the heart of my family's farmhouse has been the kitchen. It's where stories, food, and traditions have been passed down through generations. Join me as we create new memories, one dish at a time. Welcome to Adam's Farmhouse Kitchen. Hello there, friends. Welcome back to Adam's Farmhouse Kitchen. And now we're going to make my grandmother's signature pie crust. And this was Aunt Jessie's pie crust. And she got this recipe. And Jessie was known for her pies. You can ask anyone in this community that knew her or knew of her or had her pies. And it was the best crust they said they've ever had. So my grandmother used this for over 60 years. And now we're going to make it. And it's very simple to make. So what we've got here, I've already pre-measured out the dry ingredients. We have 5 cups of all-purpose flour in here and 1 teaspoon of salt. And off to the side, I have 2 cups of shortening. Now, you could use lard if you wanted to, but we're just using regular shortening today. So we're going to start off with that part first, and we're going to add the 5 cups of flour. It's going right here in this bowl. And you want to make sure with pie crust that everything is absolutely cold. I've had this shortening in the fridge. Everything has been in the fridge, so it's nice and cold. And you have to have it cold in order for it to turn out just right. So the flour's in there. What we're going to do is we're going to incorporate half of the shortening first into the flour mixture. And you have to do this a little bit at a time. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this pastry blender here. My grandma got me this, and I've used it for years. So what we're going to do is we're going to start cutting in the shortening into the flour like this. And the more you do this, and the finer that it becomes, it'll be almost like sand when we're done. And the more that you do this, and the finer it is, the flakier your pie crust will be. So we're mixing that in really good. Cutting it in, actually, is what it's called. Cutting the shortening into the flour and salt. And now we're going to add the rest of the shortening into this bowl. And we will cut all of that in. My grandma made so many pies throughout the years, and she loved raisin pie especially. She always made raisin pie. And we'll hopefully be able to do that here one of these days. And so we're cutting in this, we're cutting in the shortening, and you can see it's starting to sort of look pea-sized now. And this is a great way to work up your muscles and take out aggression as well, is making pie crust. Now, a lot of people like to do it in a food processor, but I prefer to do it this way. I just never did care much for making pie crust and a food processor. If you can do it and you like that, well, that's okay. But I prefer to do it this way. So you can see there that this is sort of turning into a crumbly mixture, almost like sand. And the shortening's sort of pea-sized right now. And as we're mixing this in, we have everything, remember, you want everything cold. Now, this recipe does not have any water in it. We'll get to the liquid here in just a minute. So we can see there now how it's starting to crumble, and it sort of looks like sand almost. Well, we're getting pretty close. So having that all incorporated, right? And you really can't overdo this. Like I said, the finer it is, and the more that you do this, the flakier that your pie crust is going to be. And I love to use a heavy bowl like this because it just seems to work out better. And if you make a mess, you can just scoop it up and put it back in like that. So we've almost got all this incorporated now. It's starting to come together. So now what we're going to do is in this bowl right here, we have, I've got to get my cheat sheet here. We have got 1 egg. I put that in a measuring cup, a 1 cup measuring cup. 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. And then you're going to fill the cup up with whole milk, the rest of the way, and then pour it in a bowl like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mix up this egg and milk mixture with the apple cider vinegar. And it has to be apple cider vinegar. My grandmother always kept apple cider vinegar. She used to pickle all kinds of things. And so there was always plenty of apple cider vinegar in this house. So we're going to get that beat up really good. You can see it's kind of frothy there, and you want the egg well incorporated into the the milk mixture. Okay, so after we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to add this into our pie crust like this. And then we're going to use our pastry cutter, and we're going to cut that liquid right into the flour mixture like this. And you can see almost right away it starts to come together. And this is never fail pie crust. And you have to really work it in good. So, and you can see there, it's starting to come together. Now you can make this up a day or two in advance, and you can put it in the freezer. I like to put it between a couple of sheets of cellophane and flatten it out and refrigerate it before you start actually making your pie crust. So, all right, so after you do that, you can just use your hand. You don't want to work it too much because you don't want it to get heated up. We're just want to pull it together like that. And you can see that it's starting to foam into a ball now. And then you just kind of work it around like that. Pull all of the excess into it. And then you can flatten it out on a piece of cellophane and refrigerate it and get it good and cold. This here would make probably two crusted pies, but we're going to make a couple of just one crusted pumpkin pies today. And then the excess, you can freeze it or keep it in the fridge. You can keep it in there for a week or two. So after you get that all ready to go, we're going to get that good and chilled, and you have the perfect pie crust, Aunt Jessie's pie crust.